Forge Gang! I'm still a heart man! I am your host, Imperator of Forge, otherwise known as Forge Warhammer, and I just want to say something tonight. I just want to proudly admit that I don't salute the flag and I don't hail the American troops, because they are a bunch of imperialists that have been waging wars against humanity. So, I never salute the flag and I never praise the troops. And I am proud that I never do that, because I freaking hate the Republican Party. They're a bunch of fucking Republicans, is what they damn straight are. You have retards like Ken Paxton saying that Tylenol in pregnant women is what causes autism, and you have Robert Kennedy saying the same exact shit, and Trump saying the same shit. So fuck Trump and fuck the Republican Party and fuck anyone who supports that dumb fucking shit. No, I will not salute the troops. The troops are a bunch of mass murderers and rapists and serial killers, and there's nothing to be proud of that. And I do not salute the American flag because it is a compact with the devil. It is a compact of evil and a compact with the devil. Henry C. Carey mentioned that many times the British openly traded with the South and helped to keep pride up the system of slavery. Henry C. Carey brought this up in his The American System versus the British System. And so, yeah, the American South was a proxy for the British Empire to invade and conquer the United States. Now, they did conquer the United States, but they did it by other means. They failed in that regard. Lyndon LaRouche had covered that. But they succeeded in other ways at subverting the United States. But yeah, the American establishment, the American elite, as Carol C. Quigley has pointed out multiple times, is controlled by the British Round Table and by the Cecil the Rhodes Society and the Cecil Group, who were behind pushing for and triggering the First World War, as Carol C. Quigley pointed out in Time and Hope in his book. But yeah, Henry C. Carey pointed out how the South was just a pawn to try to reconquer, for the British Empire to try to invade and reconquer the United States. And one of the things that I noticed very early on about Ghost of Niccolo was that he was very pro-Godwinson. And as my good friend Rick Perry pointed out, Godwinson is involved in an intelligence network. Yes, Godwinson is involved with a intelligence network in the UK, and Ghost of Niccolo was always a pawn of Godwinson. All you have to do is just go back and look through Ghost of Niccolo's videos, and you can see that he has a lot of pro-Godwinson material. There is a lot of pro-Godwinson and pro-British Empire material. Ghost of Niccolo was a pawn of the British Empire system. Most of the people who attack me and who go after me, I have noticed, happen to be very pro-British Empire, very pro-British. And they very much support the British Empire system. So it makes sense to me that Ghost of Niccolo was an intelligence informant, an intelligence asset, or he was just a clueless pawn to Godwinson. And Godwinson was pulling the strings behind Ghost of Niccolo the entire time. And Rick Perry has pointed out under multiple scenarios that Godwinson was involved in intelligence. He is a pawn of the British Empire system. And as Lyndon LaRouche and Caleb Maupin had said multiple times, the British Empire system will be defeated. And that is going to be the case. It will happen. The United States of America is too big of a country with too large of a population to be subjected by such a small 1% elite minority of technocrats and highly super rich and influential wasps that basically cater to the City of London's every needs and desires. Humanity will overthrow the British Empire system, the legacy British Empire system with the Bretton Woods Agreement and the IMF and the CFR and the Trilateral Commission, and mankind will defeat the British Empire, or the legacy British finance capital. And finally, I am going to make a bold claim. And yes, it is a very bold claim. And I'm going to do it anyways. I'm perhaps kind of going out of my lane to do this, but I'm going to make this bold assertion. I think that Dark Ninja and Swan Kelly and Alistair Mycroft are being manipulated and pulled by Godwinson behind the ropes. I think that King of Pole is also being pulled and manipulated by Godwinson behind the ropes as well. And they are involved in an intelligence network that is trying to prop up legacy British high finance capital, and they are part of a greater intelligence network. That's all that I am going to say. Godwinson is involved in international finance intelligence, or international intelligence networks, and he is behind he is the one pulling the strings. Yes, Daimo, Godwinson never left. Hallo, goofy Amerikaner. Was ist denn mit den Breton los? Das Britannische Empire ist doch fantastisch. No, the British Empire was not fantastic. Have you ever heard of this thing called the bombing of Dresden? Or how about the English blockade of the German Second Reich in the First World War? What about the starvation? So I would say that the goofy person here is you in the chat. And you're probably somebody's alt trying to pretend to be something else. 9. Oh, by the way, live by the code. That's not how you spell the British Empire in German. That's actually not how the British Empire is pronounced in German, but I'm not going to say any more. But yes, I do know that Godwinson is behind a lot of this stuff, and Ghost of Niccolo, I know that Godwinson was pulling your strings and using you like a sock puppet. And I know that Godwinson was using you to try to spy on the Forge. Just as I know that Godwinson is behind a lot of this shit. I don't care how to speak German. Well, I mean, if you want to commit cultural genocide, and you think that the English language is the best thing ever, then maybe you're a Britbong. Maybe you are just literally a Britbong. So are you telling me that Britbong is your idol? Live by the code? Are you going to actually say that Brit Bong is your pop idol? Like, come on, dude. Anyways, English is a beautiful Germanic language. 15% of the language was influenced by French, by Old French through the Normans. Anyways, the British Empire system will be defeated, and America will succeed at the end of the day. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Very short rant.